Hey guys, it's Melody Meadows again, back with another character catalog. This time we're doing Jett. Looking back into what I thought his story was going to be like due to his echo art and imitation art, I was scarily close to what his story was actually going to be. But at the same time, I was horribly far. My goal with these videos is to explain to you all what I read in a clear and understandable manner so that those who read the doc and don't understand can listen to these and hopefully get a better idea. So, with that in mind, let's continue with the Project Eden's Garden character catalog, Episode 7, The Desperate Lie of Jett Dawson. Jett always said that the reason he could not remove his helmet was because he had horrible burn scars. But as we saw from his face reveal, this was not the case. He looks completely unharmed, which is part of the reason why I did not believe the leaks were real at first. But looking at this plot, it makes perfect sense now why he looks unharmed. Because the scars aren't physical, they're mental. Jett is a brother. He had a younger brother named Tommy. And there was a horrible rivalry between them. Despite their parents' constant reassurance that they loved both of their sons equally, Jett never felt it. He could always feel that his parents loved Tommy more. And so, a horrible rivalry began. A rivalry of toxic competitions, horrible decisions and misunderstandings, slight accidents, and just putting themselves through absolute pain to prove that they are the child that deserves to be loved more in the Dawson family. And it all escalated one night on a specific racetrack. One night, Jett and Tommy were about to race. Before Tommy got into his car, Jett messed with it. And then the race began. This sabotage both succeeded spectacularly and backfired catastrophically. Because as Tommy was racing behind Jett, the car flipped, rolled, and exploded, killing Tommy instantly. Jett pulled over and got out of the car, but by then, it was too late. Tommy was dead. And what did Jett decide to do in this very moment? He decided to lie. He began cutting himself with glass and metal shards and beating himself up to give himself bruises. And then, once he was done with that, he lay on the crash site, making it look like both he and Tommy were in the car and suffered from the same accident. And only one brother survived. This was the lie Jett lived with all this time. And he has never forgiven himself. The base writer of the story said that Jett removing his helmet was not just for face reveal and shock value, but a part of his story arc, a part of his journey to accept what he'd done and accept his brother's death. It would take forever for him to forgive himself. and he would never forget. But at least, if he could start accepting his brother's death, that would be enough for him to move forward. This story is genuinely one of the most tragic and heartbreaking ones I've ever read in my life. I don't know anything about the Dawson parents, so I don't know if they actually preferred Tommy and Jett wasn't just seeing things, or if he was and let that jealousy get to his head. But regardless, this is a heartbreaking tale of what happens when jealousy goes too far. This really feels like a Cain and Abel story. Everyone was referencing how Mark and Jett were going to be like Cain and Abel from Christianity. And while the Cain and Abel story is still there, it wasn't presented in the way we thought it would be. As a matter of fact, they made it even worse. This allows me to understand why they made Jett a survivor. They made Jett a survivor because of this tale of forgiveness and acceptance, of moving forward. He's a survivor because he represents an important part of committing a sin. Understanding what you've done, and while not necessarily forgiving yourself, not yet, accepting it. Accepting the fact that you did it. Accepting the fact that you can't go back. Accepting the fact that there's nothing you can do to change it. And accepting the fact that you did it. Admitting to yourself, you did it. You made this terrible choice. Now you have to live with the consequences. You have to move forward with these consequences. This is why they made Jett a survivor. I understand completely now why they did. This is an important part of the concept of sins in Eden's Garden Academy that Tozu couldn't see. And Jett was the perfect character they chose to represent it. I also understand now why his character animal motif is a coyote. Because coyotes are tricksters. And so is he. But yeah, that is the full story of Jett. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you. Much love. Goodbye.